It's the early 1990s. Lowriders are cruising down Crenshaw. DJ Quick is on the radio. Snoop Dogg reps Long Beach. Picture this. It's the early 1990s. Lowriders are cruising down Crenshaw. DJ Quick is on the radio. Snoop Dogg reps Long Beach like it's sacred ground. In Mac 10, everyone knew Inglewood was his. This wasn't just rap culture. It was a mirror of real life. Compton, Inglewood, Watts, South Central, they weren't just zip codes. They were black hubs of culture, power, and survival. These cities were shaped by the children and grandchildren of the Great Migration, families that had escaped the terror of the Jim Crow South from places like Louisiana and Texas, relocated west in search of something better. They came to Oakland, Los Angeles, Richmond, Long Beach, and they built. Today, Scope News presents the story California doesn't want to tell, the quiet erasure of its black legacy. This isn't about nostalgia. This is about what happens when a people are used to build cities, shape culture, and then get pushed out in silence.
African Americans built this nation. We built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right?
Who's probably gonna sin again? Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Things I don't understand. Sometimes I need to be alone. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink, I got my music, I'ma share it, but today I'm yelling, bitch, don't kill my vibe. 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 Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Of its black legacy. This isn't about nostalgia. This is about what happens when a people are used to build cities, shape culture, and then get pushed out in silence.
Popeye se está poniendo saucy.
In LA, black people found work in shipyards, airplane plants, and the railroads. In Oakland, they helped run the ports, fix the engines, and raise the city's cultural pulse. West Oakland had Southern Baptist churches that echoed with Texas choirs. East Oakland smelled like gumbo and smoked ribs. People brought their traditions with them, and Black California began to rise. Like Lady Esther's Soul Food Restaurant, that used to be located on East 14th Street and 53rd Avenue, that opened in 1968. A native of Louisiana, Esther Clay founded this restaurant, which served East Oakland for decades. Locals said that the food was some of the best soul food that they had ever had.
Look inside of my soul, you can find gold and maybe get rich. Look inside of your soul, you can find out it never exists. I can feel the changes. I can feel a new life.
Inglewood, Crenshaw, and Compton were extensions of the South, but with palm trees and promise. But now, walk into those same neighborhoods and something feels off. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, once a place built for and by black folks, is now run by a Mexican woman who is also the COO. Most of the staff
I always knew life can be dangerous. I can say that I like a challenge and you tell me it's painless. You don't know what pain is. How can I paint this picture?
cooking the food aren't black. That's not just a staffing change, it's a symbol. Because when the ownership, the narrative, and the profit leaves the hands of the people who created it, that's not cultural growth. That's cultural displacement.
When the color line is hanging picture fell on my face and I woke with a scar. Another mistake living deep in my heart. Buried on top of my sleeve in a flip. I can admit that it did look like yours. Why you resent every making of this? Tell me your purpose is petty again. But even a small lighter can burn a bridge. Even a small lighter can burn a bridge.
Compton is now nearly 70% Latino. Inglewood is majority Latino too. Long Beach has seen its black population steadily fall. And the cultural anchors, the barbershops, churches, food spots, bookstores, have been replaced, relocated, or erased. It's not just Latino growth. Asians now make up a massive and growing demographic in Southern California. Places like Monterey Park, Cerritos, Diamond Bar, and entire areas of the San Gabriel Valley have become cultural powerhouses, complete with political influence, real estate ownership, and elite education systems. And still, no one asks, how did these newer communities get the support to thrive, while foundational black communities were left to rot? We can't ignore immigration either. Since the 1980s, California has received a constant wave of both legal and undocumented immigrants from Mexico and Central America. Many ended up in black neighborhoods, not by accident, but because those were the communities starved of investment and ripe for resettlement. Landlords saw new tenants, politicians saw new voters, developers saw profit, and black families, especially those who owned homes and businesses, found themselves boxed in, priced out, or pushed out.
Firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area.
At the end of the day, I mean, who's ready for something like this?
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood and its beachfront homes. In the coastal neighborhood Pacific Palisades, multiple homes completely engulfed in flames, with desperate residents rushing to get out. Planes flying above the area, capturing the massive reach of the inferno. The fire jumping Pacific Coast Highway, burning all the way to the ocean, even threatening the famed Getty Villa Art Museum. And two more fires igniting overnight, spreading to Pasadena, where this Jewish temple erupted in flames.
It's like a bad, horrific dream.
In Altadena, dramatic video.
Jobs were disappearing, schools were failing, and rent? It was climbing faster than wages. Real estate developers swept through with buyout offers. Then came the gentrification. Trendy cafes, construction zones, shiny new stadiums, and rental prices that left no room for the original community. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood is a perfect example. A billion-dollar attraction built on the bones of a black neighborhood. Now let's talk about who's leading the city, and whether they're truly representing the people who built it. Karen Bass made headlines as the first African-American woman to lead a state legislative body in the U.S., and is now
showing elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center. The Palisades fire igniting mid-morning Tuesday, with the area's hilly, winding roads quickly clogging with cars.
The homeowners are saying they're unable to access any exit routes. There's fire on both sides of the roads.
We are in bumper-to-bumper traffic right now as hundreds of people try to get out. You can see flames here on both sides of the road with very little visibility. Many abandoning their vehicles to flee on foot.
Policemen started telling everybody, get out of your car, leave your car if you want to live.
A bulldozer brought in to clear a path, pushed.
Now the mayor of Los Angeles. But in 2018, she posted a picture of her grandfather, Salvador, describing him as a dreamer before the term existed. He came from Mexico, fought in World War II, received full GI Bill benefits, and built a business. It's a proud story, but you rarely see it in her campaign speeches or public branding. Bass doesn't often highlight her Latino roots in political forums. Instead, she centers herself squarely in the black community, presenting as a foundational black leader from South LA. And that raises hard questions. If her Mexican heritage is real and personal, why isn't it more present when she campaigns? And if she owes her political rise to black communities, black churches, black voters, black movements, why do her policies so often prioritize other groups?
Dozens of cars out of the way. Smoke from the growing fire darkening the skies. This man breaking down, desperate to reach his dogs.
I've been trying to get to my house for 5 hours.
Later, reunited, his house thankfully saved. Overnight, a high school up in flames. The fire hitting some of California's most famed areas, home to iconic houses and sites, and many celebrities. Chris Pratt posting overnight, please send prayers and strength to those affected. James Woods posting this video of the fires approaching his home. Beloved actor Steve Guttenberg among those stepping up to help his neighbors.
When things like this occur, you really realize how vulnerable you are and how important community is.
Scenes of unbelievable devastation and loss as the relentless winds fueling these fires show no signs of letting up.
He makes me like. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, who shall I send? And who will go for us?
I said, here am I. Send me.
I took you from the ends of the earth, from its farthest corners I called you. I said, you are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. All who rage against you will surely be ashamed and disgraced. Those who oppose you will... I said, you are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. All who rage against you will surely be ashamed and disgraced. Those who oppose you will be as nothing and perish. Though you search for your enemies, you will not find them.
This morning, the firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area. Overnight, please send prayers and strength to those off-duty firefighters to come and help them fight these fires. And the scary part, guys, we are still in the middle of this windstorm with these strong winds not expected to let up anytime soon. Savannah?
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every week.
Who oppose you will be as nothing and perish.
Like her recent plan to offer prepaid debit cards to undocumented immigrants. All while black homelessness in LA is at crisis levels. Who exactly is being served here? It's the same pattern we saw with Vice President Kamala Harris. Born to a Jamaican father and an Indian mother, Harris is not descended from U.S. chattel slavery. But during her presidential run, she embraced black American culture, dancing with HBCU bands, quoting civil rights leaders, and calling herself...
Though you search for your enemies, you will not find them. Those who wage war against you will be as nothing at all. For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you.
part of the African American struggle.
This is what the Lord says, Israel's King and Redeemer, the Lord Almighty. I am the first, and I am the last. Apart from me, there is no God. Who then is like me? Let him proclaim it. Let him declare and lay out before me what has happened since I established my ancient people, and what is yet to come. Yes, let them foretell what will come.
With flames carving a brutal path. The Madre fire exploding over the past 24 hours, scorching a massive area 2 hours north of Los Angeles. Air tankers doing their best to corral the flames that have now burned more than 70,000 acres. Crews working 24/7.
And breaking right now, flooding disaster in the Texas Hill Country. Lives lost and families desperate for answers, waiting for news about their loved ones.
And we've just...
This is the first for me. I've never seen anything like this. Never had to evacuate, none of that.
I mean, I grabbed my wallet, grabbed just, my keys, and jumped in my car and left.
breaking right now. Flooding disaster in the Texas Hill Country. Lives lost and families desperate for answers, waiting for news about their loved ones.
We've just learned that at least 13 people are dead. First responders racing to save people trapped in trees, treading through floodwaters, or stuck in their homes. And right now at 4, our live team coverage of this flooding disaster from the Hill Country to Houston. We've been tracking this storm since this morning on our KHOU 11 Plus morning stream. Video, as you can see, pouring into our newsroom, showing just how fast and how high that floodwater is moving.
Yeah, this right here from Kerrville, right off the Guadalupe River. We want to get you caught up on the very latest now. In the last 15 minutes, Kerr County...
Hour, look at this. This is just coming into us. Some of these videos here. This one shot by a person named Charlie Rivers. Look at that. The water rushing past buildings and homes. You can see some of the debris there as well. Let me get right to Bill Cairns. You hate to see this, Bill, as we are coming off of, the 4th day, now 5th day of that flash flooding in Texas. This is not, first of all, it's daytime. It doesn't look as bad, but help us understand the risk here.
All right, so we're in New Mexico. We're in the mountains. This is near the Lincoln National Forest. And when I first saw this video, I was like, oh, this is old. This is last year. I believe it's almost from the same vantage point, the same person.
Wow.
They had a flash flood last year that was very similar to this. I was just on their Facebook group for the community there, and they're saying that this year was worse than last year. There was a fire upriver of this.
God might have yet to come. Yes, let them foretell what will come.
Instead, she centers herself squarely in the black community. Campaign speeches, or public branding. Base doesn't often highlight her Latino roots in political forums. Instead, she centers herself squarely in the black community, presenting as a foundational black leader.
Do not tremble. Do not be afraid. Did I not proclaim this and foretell it long ago?
U.S. chattel slavery. But during her presidential run, she embraced black American culture, dancing with HBCU bands, quoting civil rights leaders, and calling herself part of the African American struggle. And yet, once elected, she focused on immigration, Asian hate crime legislation, and international relations.
You are my witnesses. Is there any God besides me? No, there is no other God. I know not one. I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. Do not be afraid. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. I know not one. I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel.
While foundational black communities continue to wait for even basic acknowledgement, let alone reparations or reinvestment. This is what many now call identity extraction, the political borrowing of black identity, struggle, and symbolism to win votes and build brand recognition.
Tell me, Vegeta, with that stamp on your head, I know Bobity's been giving you orders. Is this one of them? Are you trying to fight me because of him? Or is this the same old story between you and me? Which one? Does it really matter?
Not to you, Gohan, but to a warrior it matters greatly. And you know this as well as I do, Kakarot. In a day, you'll be back to the dead, and I will not miss this opportunity.
Newer terms that may fit are ones like grifter or tether. But once power is secured,
value of having a partner is huge.
The loyalty of the black voter is left unrewarded. The policy promises go silent, and the focus shifts to everyone but the people who made the victory possible.
Who are you people? Don't you see the universe matters more than your meaningless squabble? Meaningless, huh? What do you know of meaningless? life ruled by another. Watch your race dwindle to a handful. And then, tell me what has more meaning than your own strength. I have in me the blood of a Saiyan prince. He is nothing but a joke. Yet I've had to watch him surpass me in strength. My destiny thrown to the wayside. He's even saved my life as if I were a helpless child. He has stolen my honor. And his debts must be paid.
Meanwhile, Black California is disappearing. South Central has been renamed. South LA schools are now majority Spanish-speaking. The culture, gentrified. The history, ignored. The elders, displaced. Crenshaw is full of construction signs. West Oakland looks like a tech campus. And the kids of the Great Migration, the sons and daughters of Louisiana and Texas, are gone. Even Roscoe's, once the meeting place for legends, feels different now. It's still serving chicken and waffles, but the soul behind it, the people, the music, the stories, is fading fast. Remember Boys and the Hood? John Singleton made that film to capture the reality of South LA. It was raw, it was painful, it was real. That world is almost gone now. You can walk those same streets today and not recognize a single building. And Mac 10, even he would probably struggle to find his old neighborhood. From 2000 to 2020, over 100,000 black residents left Los Angeles County. Some went to the Inland Empire. Some left the state. Others just disappeared into poverty, displacement, or silence. This isn't migration, it's removal. Quiet, unspoken, strategic removal. The question isn't just where did they go? The real question is, who will be next? Scope News tells the truth. And here are the facts. U.S. Census Bureau data confirms the sharp decline in black residents across Los Angeles, Compton, Inglewood, Long Beach, Oakland, and San Francisco. The Urban Displacement Project, Pew Research Center, and UCLA Luskin School of Public Affairs have extensively documented demographic shifts, immigration patterns, and the effects of housing policies on black Californians. Karen Bass's Facebook post about her Mexican grandfather is public record. The GI Bill disparity for black WE2's veterans is backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs and major civil rights history texts. Reporting on Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles confirms management changes and demographic shifts. Kamala Harris's heritage and policy focus are supported by public campaign footage and federal legislation tracking. Historic migration patterns from Texas and Louisiana to California are preserved in the Schomburg Center, the California African American Museum, and multiple UC archives. Special thanks to the Watts Labor Community Action Committee, the East Bay Black Cultural Archives, and oral histories recorded through StoryCorps and CAM. Legal disclaimer. This Scope News report is intended solely for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes. It is based on verified public records, historical research, and journalistic analysis protected under fair use. Viewer discretion is advised, as topics may include sensitive content related to race, displacement, and political accountability. This report is not intended to incite harm or discrimination toward any individual or group. Scope News aims to reflect history accurately and responsibly, while acknowledging the limitations of public data, archival access, and evolving interpretations. All names, dates, policies, and examples are true to the best of our editorial ability at the time of publication.
Getting ready for my favorite festival of the year and start
Acknowledging the history of farm work in America has always been rooted in exploitation, from its origins in slavery to its later evolution into sharecropping. But what you might not know is that during the New Deal, as laws were finally passed to establish some bedrock labor protections, farm workers were repeatedly and specifically excluded from them. So, for instance, the 1935 law, which protected employees' rights to join unions, explicitly stated that the term employee shall not include any individual employed as an agricultural labourer. And the 1938 law, which created a federal minimum wage and overtime, again carved out an exception so those provisions shall not apply to anyone employed in agriculture, which is pretty insulting, isn't it? It's like announcing your company's new anti-sexual harassment policy but clarifying that none of it protects Jeff. Jeff is exempt, so slap his ass, twist his nips, we don't care. It is open.
We used to be Jeff. Guess who Jeff is now?
Open season on Jeff. And make no mistake, the reasons for that were explicitly racist. One representative even warned during debate on the minimum wage bill that you cannot put the Negro and the white man on the same basis and get away with it. That representative, it was actually Tucker Carlson. It turns out he's a Highlander. Now, since then, the labour force has changed. Black Americans left the sharecropping system during the Great Migration, and farmers increasingly came to rely on labourers from Mexico and other Central American nations. And over the years, leaders like Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta formed the United Farm Workers and won some significant gains.
So Mexicans have taken our place. And what just happened to them? A whole bunch of people used to, live in California, and then they got moved out. And what's happening? All that crazy stuff is happening. How come everywhere the Negro goes, and then they get pushed out? And how come things are happening there? Who you gonna blame, God, or you gonna blame the government? You gotta pick one.
Federal minimum wage was expanded to include farm workers in 1970.
Or you can blame yourselves.
And some states do now provide at least some access to overtime pay and collective bargaining. But the fact is, farm workers are still excluded from a lot of basic labour protections, including this major one.
The child labor law in the U.S. is pretty good, except when it comes to agriculture. And then it has a big gaping hole. U.S. law allows children to work in agriculture at far younger ages for unlimited hours outside of school in much more dangerous conditions than any other sector. So a child can work perfectly legally for any farmer at age 12. That child couldn't work serving the food, that he can work 10, 12, 14 hours picking.
Yeah, and that is absurd. And look, I am not saying that working in a restaurant isn't tough. Anyone thinks otherwise should be forced to serve an imperfect omelette to James Corden. But it's clearly not the same thing, is it? And this exception isn't just to let kids work on their own family's farms. There are hired children working in fields all across America picking our food. Because, well, most jobs are off limits to kids under 14. Agricultural employers may even hire children younger than 12.
If you know the history of the whole concept of whiteness, if you know the history of the whole concept of the white race, where it came from and for what reason, you know that it was a trick, and it's worked brilliantly. See, prior to the mid to late 1600s in the colonies of what would become the United States, there was no such thing as the white race. Those of us of European descent did not refer to ourselves by that term really ever before then. In fact, in the old countries of Europe, we had spent most of our time killing each other. We didn't love each other. We weren't one big happy family. The side of my family that comes from Scotland, hell, they didn't even worry about fighting people outside of Scotland. Highlanders and lowlanders just fought the hell out of each other. So there was no white race, but in the colonies of what would become the United States, what did we see in the 1660s, 1670s? We began to see that Africans of indentured servant status, many of them not enslaved yet, they were not necessarily permanently enslaved. Some were, others were indentured like many poor Europeans for periods of 7 to 11 years. They could work off their indenture and then they would be free labor technically. Realized, as did the white indentured servants, the Europeans who hadn't even been called white yet, that they had a lot of things in common, like the fact that they were all getting their clock cleaned by the elite. And so they would get together more than our history books taught us, to foment rebellion against the elite, to try to get a better deal for themselves on the basis of economic necessity and economic justice. And what did the elite do? When you see that you're outnumbered by black and white folks who are penniless, landless, peasants, you have to do one of two things. You either have to kill them all, but you can't do that because who's going to work? Rich folks weren't going to. They had to get poor people to work. The whole point was to be a person of leisure back in those days. That was the goal, was not to work. So you couldn't kill them all. You didn't want to kill them all. You had to do the work yourself. You had to build your own levee, build your own house. No. Pick your own tobacco, harvest your own cotton. No, we're not going to do any of that. So you can't kill them, but you can co-opt them. And so the elite in Virginia, for example, in the colony, begins to give certain carrots to people of European descent, saying things like, you know, we're going to let you own a little land. Not much, but just a little. And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. Now you're free labor. And by the way, once you're free labor, you get 50 acres of land just because you're free labor, see? So we're going to cut you in on this deal. We're going to let you enter into contracts. We're going to let you testify in court. And here's the best of all. We're going to put you on the slave patrol to keep those people in line, right? The idea was you're still going to get your clock clean. We still don't like you. We still aren't going to really empower you or change your economic subordination, but we're going to make you honorary members of this team, and you're going to help us keep those other people down. And so they got a little taste of power, and it did effectively divide and conquer those coalitions. Those rebellions began to stop almost instantly. Fast forward to the Civil War era, you have rich white folks in the South, where I come from, standing up and openly admitting that the reason they're prepared to secede from the Union, and the only reason they ever articulated publicly, ever, was to maintain and extend slavery and white supremacy not only where it already existed, but into the newly acquired, that is to say, stolen territories from Mexico to the west. That was what they said. Now we lie about it. We say it wasn't about slavery, that it was about states' rights. Yes, the right of the states to keep and maintain slaves, exactly. But back then they had no shame, so they didn't try and cover it up. They openly said it, but once again, the rich didn't want to go do the work. Are you kidding? No. They're going to get poor people to go fight for them. And the poor folks didn't even own slaves. Now think, how do you get poor people who don't even own the shirt on their back, let alone slaves, to go fight to keep your slaves for you? You've got to convince them that their skin is more important than their economic interest. Because think about it, if I am a farmer who has to charge you $1 a day or $2 a week to work on your farm and harvest that tobacco or pick that cotton, but you can get a black person to do it for free because you own them, who's going to get the job? Not me. In other words, slavery actually undermined the wages and the wage base, the economic floor of the typical white working class or low-income person. But they were told, if these people are freed, they're going to take your job. No, fool, they got your job. That's the point. And so at some level, again, working class white people being harmed by white privilege, relatively being advantaged, right? Being given a leg up, being given a membership to the club, but in absolute terms being kept economically subordinated by the very thing that gave them a sense of superiority. How's that for irony? Then in the present era, this hasn't stopped. This is not ancient history. Now we have people running around insisting that we should close the border with Mexico because if we don't, the wages of working class people will continue to fall. The implication being that the only reason workers are paid like crap in this country is because the border is open. But if you believe that, you would actually have to believe that if that border were closed, that all these owners of capital and industry would just say, oh, well, you figured us out. Here.
Redeem. What would I do without you? Go back to ever.
Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you.
What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
You're garbage. You kills for money.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. No, you complete me.
You're garbage. You kills for money.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper. See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
There is no dark side, nor a light side. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. The balance is what keeps me together.
There is no good without evil, but evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet emotion. Serenity, yet peace. Chaos, yet order. I am the wielder of the flame, the protector of balance. I am the holder of the torch, lighting the way. I am the keeper of the flame, soldier of balance. I am the guardian of balance. I am a gray Jedi.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your peoples too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.